So, in today's world, describing life as stressful is quite the understatement. Stress compromises the quality of our life, causing a negative influence on our mental and physical health. But laughter is a positive sensation and seems to be youthful. It is youthful, but it's useful and a healthy way to overcome stress. I will be taking you on a tour of the history and relationship between humor, laughter, learning, and health, with an emphasis on the powerful universal language of laughter. In 1964, Norman Cousins was diagnosed with a degenerative disease that caused him constant pain and suffering in his back and in his jaw. And he was given the prognosis of only a few months to live. Cousins was serving as an adjunct professor at the University of California in Los Angeles, where he conducted research on human emotions, which he believed were critical to fighting illness. And he often expressed his belief that since negative emotions could lead to negative physical effects, then positive emotions, such as humor, can lead to positive physical effects. Chronic stress has been shown to elevate the levels of stress hormones epinephrine and cortisol, and chronic stress also increases the likelihood of blood clots. Together with physical response to stress increase and the risk for cardiovascular and other diseases. The positive emotions of humor and laughter decrease the risk of stress-related diseases. So Cousins decided to take his treatment into his own hands. He watched humorous movies and television shows to induce laughter as a consistent part of his treatment. Mirthful laughter, that's when you're really laughing wholeheartedly, like for real, reduced his pain and relieved stress. Cousins said laughter produced a natural body anesthesia. Cousins' humor-induced treatment saved his life and allowed him to live and prosper for nearly 25 additional years. So he was given a few months to live, but he lived 25 more years. Cousins and his remarkable results are a testament to the positive psychophysiological impact created by the emotions of humor and mirthful laughter. This has been documented in a book he authored called Anatomy of an Illness as Perceived by the Patient. Laughter in other animals. Research has given credence to the idea that laughter evolved in a common ancestor of great apes and humans. But chimpanzees, apes, rats, dolphins, and dogs, and foxes all laugh as part of socialization in the form of play. Play forms social bonds, and laughter is the sound of this play. It signals, I'm not attacking you. You don't have to get defensive. I'm friendly. Chimpanzees, apes, orangutans, and bonobos all laugh when tickled and when they engage in play. They all share with humans similar ticklish areas of the body, such as the armpits and the belly. Whoops, I didn't mean to go there yet. I want to leave those guys on for a little while. Patricia Simonet isolated the sounds that dogs make exclusively during play, which she documented as a forced, breathy exhalation. My dogs do this all the time when I'm playing with them. They go, that's like their version of laughing. Using analysis, she compared this sound to others that dogs produce during play, such as growling, whining, panting, and barking. When analyzed, the laugh-like sound spiked while the panting sound, a sound canines most make, remained flat. Humor in teaching. So these folks, Robert Purvine, Lee S. Burke, Ronald A. Burke, and Sophie Scott, have all done research on how impactful humor can be on teaching and learning. And they've done studies and scientific studies and research for the past half century. Humor and laughter may not directly cause learning, but humor creates an environment that increases the ability to learn. Teachers who use humor see an increase in performance and decrease in anxiety. Appropriate humor and humor that relates to course material holds the attention and produces a more relaxed and productive learning environment. Humor also reduces anxiety, enhances participation, and increases motivation. Humor has positive physical effects like decreasing stress hormones like epinephrine and cortisol and increasing the activation of the dopamine system. Also, because teaching is about relationships, the humor builds bonds by strengthening the relationship between the student and the teacher. This effect may cause interactions with students and teachers or students and peers, and humor can help draw out more introverted students. The history of humor in medicine. Humor, laughter, learning, and health have a long and successful history that has continued for centuries and played an important role in humanity since the beginning of recorded time. The benefits of humor and laughter are even referenced in the Bible. This proverb here: a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries the bones. So even in the 10th century, people knew that a joyful spirit has positive health effects, while the absence of joy can make you sick. Ancient Greek physicians prescribed visiting the Hall of Comedians as an important part of the healing process, and early Native Americans utilized the powerful impact of humor and laughter in healing, as traditional medicine men incorporated the services of clowns to inspire laughter. During the 14th century, French surgeon Henri de Mondeville used humor to distract patients from the pain during surgery and as therapy to help recovery. Mondeville supported his practice in a book he authored, Chirurgia, stating, "Let the surgeon take care to regulate the whole regimen of the patient's life for joy and happiness, allowing his relatives and special friends to cheer him, and by having someone tell him jokes." The English scholar Robert Burton expanded on this practice by using humor to treat psychiatric disorders in the 16th century, which were discussed in his book, The Anatomy of Melancholy. These examples show the long history of the use of humor in medicine, but even though humor was being used and accepted for centuries, there was very little evidence to support humor's impact. This limited its use by caretakers. But this all changed in the 20th century when investigators examined the psychophysiological mechanisms of humor. William S. Fry, a professor of psychology at Stanford University, researched laughter and healing as a field of study and created the term gelotology, the study of laughter. Fry was one of the first to apply for public funding for humor research. He published several studies on the physical processes that happen during laughter, including the respiratory components of mirthful laughter and the biology of humor. Fry found that after 3 minutes of continuous laughter, an increase in ventilation and muscle activity. Fry's work provided evidence and for the positive impact of humor, which paved the path for future research. Fry says that laughing 100 times a day is equivalent to 10 minutes of rowing. Fry says that laughter stimulates the production of alertness hormones that enhance blood flow and thus speed healing, reduce inflammation, and stimulate alertness. These hormones, in turn, cause the relief of endorphins in the brain. Endorphins foster a sense of relaxation and well-being and dull the perception of pain. It is now well documented and generally accepted that human emotions interact with mind and body in complicated and powerful ways that impact our health. Just consider the placebo effect that is effective during the patient's belief in the treatment. Believing in something and laughing both establish a positive effect, and it is this positive feeling that may improve health. Basic human emotions such as anxiety, depression, fear, joy, and laughter intensely impact health. Many of us realize from personal experience that emotions can alter our heart rate, blood pressure, sweating, sleep patterns, and digestion. Most obvious, however, are laughter's effects on cardiovascular and respiratory functions. When one is laughing hard, normal breathing rhythm is disrupted. Inhalation and expiration become more spasmodic as well as deeper. Heart rate, blood pressure, and muscle tension increase, and when laughter subsides, these levels often drop temporarily to below normal, leaving you feeling relaxed. Hence the expression weak with laughter to describe someone who has just laughed hard and long. Lee S. Burke studied the influence of humor on the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis and the sympathetic nervous system. Burke examined the impact of laughter-induced emotion on cortisol levels. Humor reduced cortisol and increased the production of antibodies and endorphins, the body's natural painkillers. Burke's research provided important insights for the benefits of humor for positive psychophysiological responses. Hunter Patch Adams also committed his life to understanding the benefits of humor and laughter in medicine. Starting in the early 1970s, while attending medical school, Adams introduced fun and laughter into the hospital setting and put into practice the idea that healing should be a loving human interchange, not a business transaction. The not-for-profit Big Apple Circus started performing in hospitals with professional clowns in attempts to cheer up patients and make environments more fun. In 1986, they developed and made public a training program for hospital clowns. Their message and technique spread worldwide and was immortalized in the Hollywood feature film on Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams. The movie's promotion of therapeutic hospital clowns resulted in an extraordinary level of exposure and public recognition. How does laughter relieve stress, anxiety, etc.? Our stomachs are a huge place for everything we suppress. Whenever we hold back anger, sadness, being vulnerable, speaking our truth, love, even when we hold back laughter, depression and anxiety are stored in the stomach area. The expression gut-wrenching, or my stomach is tied up in knots, or I have butterflies in my stomach, illustrate how much we attach emotions to the stomach area, keeping you stuck. Emotional eating is another way of burying or keeping the lid on authentic thoughts and feelings. When we experience hearty belly laughs, we release all of that pent-up tension in our stomach. Laughter shakes everything up and dislodges all those depressed emotions. Laughing is a way of cleansing the storehouse of the stomach and frees you from where you're stuck. So how to create the benefits of laughter when the last thing you feel like doing is laughing. If you feel all of this is useless because you cannot laugh when you're sad, angry, or depressed, don't be so fast to come to that conclusion. There are many ways to stop the needle from skipping and dance to the music. Laughter therapy. A study conducted in 2015 with a group of 32 nursing home residents from one nursing home, while the control group consisted of 33 nursing home residents from another nursing home in the capital city of Turkey. Laughter therapy was applied with nursing home residents of the experimental group 2 days per week, 21 sessions in total. A socio-demographic form of the short form health survey were used in the data collection. After the laughter therapy, bodily pain, general health, vitality, social functioning, role emotional and spiritual health, quality of life scores of residents in the experimental group significantly increased in comparison with the pre-test. Laughter therapy improved the quality of life of nursing home residents. Therefore, nursing home management should consider integrating laughter therapy into health care, and laughter therapy should be provided as a routine nursing home intervention. The medical community has taken notice and attempted to include laughter therapy to more traditional therapies. Decreasing stress-making hormones found in the blood, laughter can mitigate the effects of stress. Laughter decreases serum levels of cortisol, epinephrine, growth hormone, indicating a reversal of the stress response. Laughter therapy is a non-invasive and non-pharmacological alternative treatment for stress and depression, representative cases that have a negative influence on mental health. Laughter yoga. In the 1990s, Dr. Madan Kataria of Mumbai became interested in the growing evidence showing that laughter is extremely beneficial to mental and physical health. He decided that more laughter was needed to improve health and cope with the stress of modern living, and started a quest to find ways that laughter could be prescribed to patients and people who needed it. Dr. Kataria and his wife co-founded Laughter Yoga and saw the similarities between laughter and pranayama exercises and incorporated elements from this ancient form of yoga into laughter yoga, including deep breathing exercises to deepen the impact. Laughter yoga has nothing to do with being funny or yoga. The way it works is you fake it till you make it. Because believe it or not, your body cannot differentiate between real or forced laughter as far as the positive psychophysiological effects. In a Japanese study published in 2018, participants took part in a 45-minute laughter yoga session once per month for 6 months. Before and after all sessions, participants completed the Profile of Mood questionnaire to assess their mood and had blood drawn for the measurement of stress indicators and immune function. The results showed that repeated sessions of laughter yoga had physiologically beneficial effects, especially on the aspects of tension, anxiety, and vigor. The hormone and cortisol values related to the participant stress levels were significantly decreased after the 4th yoga session. These results indicated that multiple laughter yoga sessions appeared to be effective in improving the psychological and physiological status of healthy adults. Lastly, the take on coping with disease. This one really affected me when I found this. It also drives home the connection between mirth and health. Photographer Bob Carey took his first self-portrait dressed like a ballerina, and hilarity ensued. Since then, he has snapped more than 100 twill-clad silly shots from amusement park benches to beaches, Times Square to Michigan. Though the images are whimsical, the story behind them is sober. Carey's wife, Linda, was diagnosed with cancer in 2003. She beat it only to have the cancer recur in 2006, and she has been undergoing chemo ever since. The illness taught Carrie that though life can be hard, sometimes the best thing to do is to laugh. Today, Carrie dons his frills to fight breast cancer, one pirouette at a time. He self-published a book called Ballerina with his portraits and humorous stories, and hopes to raise money to benefit breast cancer organizations. You can read more at the tutuproject.com. Stay Fierce will be launching a laughter therapy group next month. And if you're interested in participating in this, please contact me. So I hope you all learned something from this. I certainly learned a lot while doing this research, and I'm currently, developing my own program. But I think that, my sister and I grew up, as some of you may know, in a very stressful environment. And we spent so much time laughing together. And I really think the more that I study this, that's how we wound up being as quote unquote normal as we are, because it really just helped ease the pain. So thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing your stories and any questions you might have.